Alright, continue on our solution video for the Mastery Quiz number 2 review. Again, we're just working on graphing exponentials right now. So we need to pick some x's. I'm going to do -2, 0, 1, 2, and 3. So when we do these, you need to do 2 times 2 to the -2nd power. Well, 2 to the -2nd power is 1/4. 2 times that is going to give me 1/2. 2 times 2 to the 0, anything 0 power is 1, 2 times that is going to give me 2. And then we got 2 times 2 to the first 2 is 2, so that's 2 times 2, which is 4. And we got 2 times 2 to the 2nd power, 2 to the 2nd power is 4, 4 times 2 is going to give me 8. And then 2 times 2 to the 3rd power, 2 to the 3rd power is 8, times that by 2 is going to give me 16. So there's my next number there. I can graph each of these points now. I got the point -2, 1/2. And I got the point 0, 2, and the point 1, 4, and the point 2, 8, as well as the point 3, 16. That's going to be my graph there. Just so you know, your graph never goes back up. It actually levels out there on the left side. And there's my first graph. And now when we get to this section, start with 11, we're going to be graphing systems of inequalities. I'm going to graph this first one in black. That has a y-intercept of -2. So I'm going to put a point there right on -2. And the number in front of x, my slope, which is not there, is 1 because it's invisible. So I'm going to go up 1, right 1 to get other points. Or you can go down 1, left 1 to get points. And this guy here can be equal to, and so I'm going to graph this with a solid line. And since it says less than, you can look at your line, and less than is down below, so I need to shade down in this region here. And so there's my first graph. I'm going to graph this other one in green. That says y greater than or equal to -1. Well, pick any x value you want. The y value, if you're just graphing the line part, is going to be -1. So it makes a horizontal here. And this one says it can be equal to, so I'm going to do a solid line, horizontal right here on y equals -1. And since it says greater than, I'm going to shade up above my line, like so. And the answer region is this triangular section here to the right. That brings us to 12. Again, we're just going to graph each of these lines. I'll do the first one in black. It has a y-intercept of -1 and a slope, which is the number in front of x, which is not there. So it's 1. We're going to have a slope of -1. That's down 1, right 1. And you can keep doing that to get all sorts of points. And you can go the other way, up 1, left 1. And it looks like that. And this one is not equal to, so I'm going to do a whole dashed line for this one. And it looks like that. And since it says less than, I'm going to be shading down below my graph. So I'm going to shade this away. Alright, and then this other one I'm going to do in green. It has a y-intercept of +2, so I'm going to go to +2, put a point there. The slope is the number in front of x, which is -4, which is the same thing as -4/1, so I can go down 4, right 1 to get another point, which is right there. I could go up 4, left 1 as well. So there's my points. This one can be equal to, so I'm going to do a solid line. But this one says greater than. I know this line's really steep, but if you start somewhere and go up, you'll see that the side you need to shade is over here, more towards the right. And there's a section on this graph that got double shaded, and it's right here in this little triangular pizza region right here. And that's where all the solutions are. Moving on to 13, we cannot yet graph these because they're not in y-intercept. They're not in slope-intercept form, so all I'm going to do is subtract x from both sides on this one to get negative y less than or equal to -x minus 1. And then if I divide everything by -1, all the signs are going to switch, so I'll get y, positive x, positive 1. And since I divide by negative, I need to change the direction of my inequality, and I get this one. So I can graph this guy now. It has a y-intercept of positive 1. It has a slope, which is number in front of x, which is not there. It's going to be a slope of 1, so up 1, right 1. And we can get other points just on a diagonal going from there. You can also go the other way. And this guy is going to be a solid because it can be equal to, so I just draw my solid line here. Like so, and it says greater than, the sign that's greater is the one up above. So I'm going to be shading on this side here of my line. And then we're going to take our other inequality here, and again solve for y, so I'm going to subtract x from both sides to get 4y greater than negative x minus 16. Make sure you get y all by itself by dividing everything by 4. You'll get y greater than, since this was positive, I don't need to change direction. Negative x divided by 4 is negative 1/4 x, and negative 16 divided by 4 is negative 4. So here's my inequality. It has a y-intercept of negative 4, so I'm going to negative 4, put a point there. And the slope, which is number in front of x, is negative 1/4, so you can go down 1, right 4 to get another point. And you can do that a couple of times. And you can go the other way, up 1, left 4. This one here is going to be a dashed line because it's not equal to. So I'm going to be drawing my dashed line here like so. Put arrows on the end. And this one says greater than, so I'm going to shade up above my line, which is this away. And the region that got double shaded is actually fairly large. It's this whole section here. So I'll make that a little bit darker so you can see where it's at. And there's the solutions for 13. Let's move on to 14. Again, just need to graph this inequality here. We're going to start out by subtracting x from both sides. We need to get y by itself. That'll give me negative y greater than negative x plus 8. And now I just need to finish out by dividing everything by negative 1. That'll change my y so it's positive. I need to change the direction of my inequality because I divided by a negative. Negative divided by negative is positive, so I got positive x. But positive divided by negative is negative, so I got subtract 8. So that's giving me my first inequality. It has a y-intercept of negative 8. The number in front of x, which is not there, is going to be 1. So my slope is 1, up 1, right 1. This seems to be a fairly common slope for this, for all these graphing ones. It looks like that. This one does not say equal to, so I'm going to have to use a dashed line here. It's going to look like that. And since it says less than, I need to shade down below my line, which is this direction. And my other inequality is not yet set up, but it's really close to being set up for graphing. All I have to do is subtract 3x from both sides to get y less than or equal to negative 3x minus 4. There should be an x in there. Negative 3x minus 4. So this is going to be my other inequality that I'm going to graph. It has a y-intercept of negative 4. And the number in front of x is negative 3, so it has a slope of negative 3, which is the same thing as negative 3 over 1. So I can go down 3, right 1 to get another point. Or I can go up 3, left 1 to get another point. And I can do that a few times if I really want to. This one's going to be a solid line because it can be equal to. So it's going to be my line. It's going to look like that. And it says less than or equal to, so I'm going to shade down on the side that's lower below my line. And when you do that, you'll get a double shaded region right here where the answers lie. And that's all of my graphing inequalities, and we'll stop the video there.